mortgage is far beyond our expectations.
It's the safest way of owning a house.
My mouth is full of appreciation to Federal Mortgage Bank.
Hello, and welcome to this episode of Everyone Deserves a Home, a sponsored program of the Federal Mortgage Bank of Nigeria, which brings you news and information about its efforts to make affordable houses available for Nigerians, while also providing mortgages to ensure that contributors to the National Housing Fund scheme can pay for these houses. One way that the bank achieves this goal is by entering into various partnerships. The collaboration between the FMBN, NLC, TUC and NECA is an example of such. This unique arrangement has seen to the construction of estates under this product across 30 states of the country. In this episode, we will be looking at one project under this collaboration, this time in Lagos State. Later on, we will take the story of another beneficiary of the National Housing Fund scheme to bring home the fact that you can also be a beneficiary. I am Kauthar Anumba Halil. Join me after this timeout for the full package of the program. Please stay tuned.
Get trained as a mortgage expert, smart property development industry player. Get that full option capacity training center for your individual or organizational needs at the Federal Mortgage Bank of Nigeria FMBN Training Center. Courses are both technical and managerial in mortgage operations, finance, human resources, and ICT, all facilitated by both internal and external mortgage and property industry experts.
We borrow the money from the bank. Every month we're servicing it.
All FMBN courses are approved by the Center for Management Development. Meanwhile, the FMBN Training Center offers 8 training facilities for rentals, 3 seminar rooms of 30 sitting capacities, 2 syndicate rooms of 10 and 12 sitting capacities, 2 conference halls of 108 and 78 sitting capacities, an ICT lab of 38 seats, and a 24/7 power supply. Visit the FMBN Center at number J4 Ali Akilu Road, Kaduna. Email training.school@fmbn.gov.ng or call 0901 280 3484.
Let's begin this episode with highlights of major events that happened at the Federal Mortgage Bank of Nigeria last week. In the news, FMBN appears before House Ad Hoc Committee on Duplication of Mandates. In other news, the FMBN holds retreat for its northern zones in Kano State. Details coming up shortly. Please keep watching.
The Managing Director, Federal Mortgage Bank of Nigeria, Mr. Modohamman, has appeared before the House Ad Hoc Committee on Duplication. Chairman of the committee, Honorable Victor Mela, said that the mandate of the committee is to investigate and look into duplications of mandates and duties of agencies. He also added that the aim of the committee is to look into the areas of synergy among agencies.
This committee is inaugurated by the Speaker of the House of Representatives by the leave of the House to investigate duplication of duties, overlapping functions, and counterproductivity of established agencies. This ad hoc committee is set up to establish areas of mergers, synergies, and justification of existence of established agencies.
The Managing Director of the FMBN made a presentation on the mandate of the Federal Mortgage Bank of Nigeria and how the bank has delivered on this mandate across the country.
The bank's role is not to enter direct construction. We fund. We are not developers. So our own is to fund projects that are brought to us, and it has to be within affordable limits for Nigerian workers to be able to afford. We offer the lowest rate obtainable for mortgage in Nigeria, less than 10%. In fact, for mortgage loans, it is 6% currently. To developers, we offer 10%.
Questions were raised on the grey areas, to which the Managing Director provided answers.
Are you aware of that program, Family Homes? If you are aware, what is your relationship with them? Because you have said you are not aware of any agency that have the similar mandate. But I could remember in the budget, we used to provide money for family homes programs, and they are providing houses.
Yes, we are aware of Family Home Fund, but we do not have the same mandate. We are managers of the National Housing Fund and also provide long-term liquidity. I think Family Home Fund was purposely set up to develop housing across the country. Its mandate is outside what FMBN does. We've tried to collaborate with them by offering off-taker mortgages for the houses that they construct.
MD, we want to thank you for the time. We want to thank you for the interaction. And we thank you for what you are doing for this nation. And we hope we'll keep helping this citizenry and this country. Thank you for your coming.
Executive Director, Business Development and Portfolio Management of the FMBN, Kingsley Chukwuma, has called on staff of the bank to align their activities in line with the bank's strategic goals in order to achieve success in their activities. Chukwuma stated this at the 2022 Northern Zone Retreat for staff of the bank. He reminded them of the need to remain conversant with the overall objectives of the bank in order to deliver better services to customers of the bank.
Service excellence needs to become part of us. Alignment with the messages in our mission and vision statements. Therefore, acquainting ourselves with all our products and services with the aim of serving our esteemed customers better would be a purposeful adventure for all and sundry in the bank.
Time management, you're working within a very short time.
A paper on skills and strategies to boost branch managers' capacity to market the bank's products and services was presented by the zonal manager, Just Zone, Mrs. Virginia Jang. Hajiya Sa'adatu Abubakar gave a rundown of the 2021 retreat's communique to ascertain the level of implementation of last year's retreat deliberations.
My task here today is run us through the 2025 communique, that is the issues raised and resolutions taken at the 2025 retreat.
Group Head, Field Offices Coordination, Mrs. Shakirat Oyaoyi, who explained the purpose of the retreat during an interview, said it will serve as a guide for the management of the bank to know and understand the needs of its customers in the field offices.
The whole session is to have a brainstorming session so that we can identify the challenges that they are facing in the field and for the bank to be able to see what things we need to do to put in place for them to assist them in doing their job, but also in assisting our stakeholders, the state's civil service, the unions and everything, get the ideas from them as to what the bank can do to kind of make sure that they are informed about the bank and what our services and products are.
Also speaking in an interview, Executive Director, Business Development and Portfolio Management, Mr. Kingsley Chukwuma, said that the retreat will serve as a driver for the implementation of the bank's strategic blueprint. He urged staff to ensure that actions on the deliberations are carried out by all staff of the bank.
This is a thing that is supposed to be done every year to improve, to drive the strategic 5-year blueprint which has been slated for the bank. It's a thing that we actually, project things that we want to do, things that we're looking to implement in the near future. And doing such is like we are setting a target for ourselves and as well as the branch offices.
The FMBN, NLC, TUC NECA Collaborative Housing Project is one of the means the bank is exploring to provide housing for Nigerian workers. Lagos State is one of the states that has benefited from the project. Although still ongoing, the project in Lagos will provide housing for over 116 Nigerian workers. Let us see details of this project in our next segment, Project in Focus.
We maintain quality from inception to finish.
No project should be left abandoned. All projects should be completed in due time.
Provision of 4 units of boreholes, and in which case we already have 5.
Solar, 24/7, we are here with light.
It has been a sweet experience in terms of delivering quality housing.
In order to meet the ever-increasing housing needs of Nigerians, the Federal Mortgage Bank of Nigeria has constantly tried to devise ways of providing more people with housing. The FMBN, NLC, TUC, NECA collaboration is one of the ways the bank devised to meet the housing needs of its contributors. Under this model, the bank collaborates with the various labor unions who provide off-takers for the houses when built. The bank provides funding for construction while state government provides land. This way, houses will be provided at affordable rates.
The bank now went into a collaborative development agreement with the labor centers. That is the NLC, the TUC and NECA. So which we understand that the vast majority of National Housing Fund contributors are members of these various labor centers. So that program is aimed at developing houses to Nigerian workers at various levels and different locations in the country. So that is also a program where we request state governors to donate land for the project, and also we have developed a prototype of buildings to be developed. We have 1, 2 and 3 bedroom bungalows and block of flats. Depending on the location, we would locate such house types that will suit the needs of people in that area.
Lagos State is one state that has keyed into this collaborative partnership to provide houses for its workers. The project is for 116 housing projects of 2 and 3 bedroom block of flats. It is being developed by Mafas Investment Limited.
This estate is called NLC TUC NECA Estates. This estate is specifically designed for the labor unions in Nigeria, the 3 major labor unions in Nigeria, and they appointed Mafas as their developer to build this estate to be allocated to the members of the labor centers. This loan facility covers 90% for the building, the whole structures, then 10% finance, 10% of infrastructures.
The project is at various stages of completion. So far, 2 tranches of the contract sum have been released, with a 3rd tranche already due.
The first tranche actually covers the groundbreaking and maybe to a certain level. But if you can see those ones that are actually at the deck level, that's actually the 2nd tranche. Because what we are trying to do basically is to deck all with the 2nd tranche. And if you are looking at this one also, you see that at least we have virtually all at a various level of development. So we don't have any problem. As money comes, we go higher.
The project, while ongoing, is an avenue for employment generation. This is one of the purposes of the FMBN project, to provide employment opportunities both directly and indirectly.
If you've been here during the working hour, you know precisely what we're talking about. This place looks like market in terms of employment generation. It looks like market because we try as much as we can to get unskilled labor, like laborers. A lot of people work here on daily basis. We're not talking about 200-300 people that works here, because if you can look at even that place that we actually at the various level of completion. Do you understand? So many people are actually working here in terms of skilled people.
Quality delivery is key and a necessity for all FMBN funded projects. As such, the bank has employed the services of consultants to routinely check on the quality delivery of the project.
With Federal Mortgage Bank, once a contract is awarded, we have a consultant, a professional consultant, who comes here fortnightly to check the progress of work. So we have a very good consultant, and he has satisfied their construction is okay. Apart from that, we have the Lagos State Building Maintenance Agency. They come here, they approve from level to level before you can go to level. They test all their material, their structures.
In terms of various material that we use, we don't actually go for cheap materials. If you look at those ions that we got there, those ions are more than 40 million that you're seeing down there. We go for the best because we actually believe that where you are going to stay goes a long way in telling people who Mafas is in terms of construction.
As is customary with FMBN funded projects, providing basic infrastructure is also compulsory, and this estate, like other FMBN funded projects, will have all basic infrastructure available.
You have a road network. The road network is fantastic. You have 24 hours electricity. We are coming here, we are going to give you water. Do you understand what I'm saying? So virtually everything that other estates around these houses are enjoying, that is what people here will enjoy.
When the project is completed, off-takers who are members of the various labor unions will be allocated the houses with the option of either buying through the NHF mortgage loan or the rent-to-own scheme.
To improve transparency and accountability in managing the NHF funds, Federal Mortgage Bank of Nigeria has introduced *219#. *219# is a new way to know the status of your NHF contribution from anywhere. To use this service, dial *219#. Select 1 to update your contact detail. Press 2 to check your contribution status in any month up to the last 5 years. You can also use our mortgage calculator and bulletin board by selecting options 5 and 6 respectively. You can access other services by using direct shortcodes like *219*3# to retrieve your NHF number, *219*4*1# to check your last 5 transactions, and *219*4*2# to check your statement of account. No internet connection required, and it is available on all networks. *219#. Simpler, smarter, faster. Federal Mortgage Bank of Nigeria. Everyone deserves a home.
If you're just joining us, the program is Everyone Deserves a Home. There are a number of people who still doubt that you can get a house by being a contributor to the National Housing Fund. That is why we take delight in bringing you stories of those who have benefited from the scheme and have become homeowners. Mrs. Hadiza Mohammed is our beneficiary for this evening. Let her story inspire you to take the necessary steps towards home ownership.
I can assure all Nigerians that if you apply, once it is available, you will get.
Definitely the scheme is real.
It's a big testimony to stop paying rent.
Excellent. Seriously excellent.
It works and is real.
Mrs. Hadiza Mohammed is a staff of the Federal Inland Revenue Service in Kano. As a contributor to the National Housing Fund scheme, Hajia Hadiza made efforts to find out how she can benefit from the scheme. She then saw a program on TV, and that gave her a further push into applying for the National Housing Fund scheme.
I found out about the housing scheme through the media, and due to the years of service I work, the awareness, I got to know about the housing. The NHFA, I went through the contribution. I know what it's all about. So it encouraged me to try.
Today, she's a happy homeowner of this beautiful 3-bedroom semi-detached bungalow at Al-Muqab City 2, Kano State. She commends the FMBN and the developer of the estate for a job well done. The quality, she says, is satisfactory and the design are commendable.
It is good, especially now that the building materials are high. I see it's good, it's okay for the price. It's fair,
The work is okay. The additional value is okay. It has a very good plan. I like the design. It's very comfortable for a family, for families to stay in it.
Adiza says the repayment is convenient for her because of the flexibility of the rent-to-own scheme.
For me, it's very convenient. I chose the rent-to-own. That is the new scheme, rent-to-own. I pay once yearly in bulk, and that is very convenient for me. There's no problem with that.
She encourages other civil servants like herself to give the scheme a trial. According to her, it only takes determination to become a beneficiary.
Most of the people ask, I always tell them how it works, how the payment, the procedure, the process, everything. I think it's determination. You just work hard towards it. You make plan. You plan your life. You plan towards the requirement, towards retirement.
Our question for the week is, will the FMBN give me funds to build on a piece of land I purchased for myself?
The individual construction loan, which is one of the newest products of the bank. So that product is basically a contributor can have a parcel of land that belongs to him. He has a good title and he can develop the design he desires and the cost. So he can approach the bank and to say that, okay, this is what I have. I need to ask for a loan to complete or develop my house. So what he needs to put in is just up to 10% of the construction cost of that house. Mostly they do the groundworks and the bank finances the completion of the house. So you can do that in any part of the country, provided that the title of the land is adequate, and we can now be able to create a mortgage for you.
Like you just heard, the National Housing Fund Scheme makes provision for contributors to access loan to build on their own pieces of land. For details about this, stop by at any FMBN branch office or visit her website on www.fmbn.gov.ng to find out more. Until I see you again next week, do have a pleasant night rest. Bye.